Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back, which is crazy. Thank you to everyone, first of all, who either subscribed, watched my video, or liked the video. It means so much, and it was really exciting. Today, I am going to be attempting to sew an outfit in one day. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Uh, it's like 10 o'clock right now, and I do still have a few things to take care of before that, but I am going to show you what that is. Before I get started, I do just want to mention, I believe I mentioned before, but this channel is kind of for everything that I make. It's not necessarily just knitting, so you will see a lot of different crafts on here. I will try to post one knitting video a month. That's my goal right now. Bear with me as I kind of feel things out, get things started here. But today is going to be sewing. So here is my little plan today. I want to sew an outfit to go with my Vilma top. I just finished this, got it the blocking mats this week. I'm really excited, and it really inspired me to work with these fabrics that I have. So I'm thinking a top in this, and then I'm so excited about this. So I'm going to make a skirt, and the skirt is the priority of the day, so if I don't get to the top, it's okay. But I'm going to try to make a skirt, and I'm thinking those like 3-tiered skirts. I'm really excited about it. So let me go take care of a few things first and get started. I am so nervous to start this. I am following a YouTube tutorial, which I trust the person, but I only ever use like paper patterns. I really only started sewing in like January, February. Uh, so I'm using my measurements and their calculations to make this skirt. I just cut off the edge that was a little uneven, and now I'm going to use my lane pants to get the waistband. I don't know how long I want to make this. I definitely would like this to be down here. I am, I think, also only doing 2 tiers instead of 3. That's close enough. I also definitely cut my measuring tape earlier. That's cool. The way I work, I'm not doing this all in a day. I should probably change my blade, but I'm really stubborn about that. I want to get like the most use out of it. I think I have to cut, unfortunately, like another couple inches off of here to have it line up. Okay, I am just cutting out the pocket bags. I could be pinning this, but I simply do not feel like it. All right. I have to now attach all of these pockets, and hopefully I get this right. I've sewn the pocket bags on, and I'm just going to top stitch them now. Okay, I was so incredibly mindful and careful that the pattern was going to line up on the top portion of my battered pieces, and I completely forgot about it at the bottom. So essentially, I have this much of a difference between like the top. I looked at both sides to see if somehow it would make sense, but I think what I'm going to do is just cut off this portion and um, deal with it being, an inch and a half, 2 inches shorter. If it ends up being shorter than I'd prefer, then I think I'll just add like a little ruffle or something. Here's my leftover edge here. I decided that I'm just going to sew them together before I trim off the excess, just so I don't mess anything up again. Now that I have the sides seamed together nice and evenly, I'm just going to cut the bottom of this pattern off all the way down. I am just going to increase my stitch length as far as it'll go to do the gathers at the top. So essentially, now I can pull one of these and my fabric bunches up like so. Okay, I am back. I took a little break and some of my family members stopped over, but I've done the gathers for both sides, both sections. So it just looks like a huge bit of fabric. But I think what's next is to join these, so I'm pretty excited. So here we are. And it's also gonna have a waistband. It's like this will all be gathered, so I'm holding it all funky. I think it's okay. I'm a little nervous it's too big, but I think I'm just going to sew the waistband on and hope for the best. I am getting pretty close to the end of the skirt. However, I am getting very tired and I still really want to sew a top today. I don't even have a pattern picked out. I just know I want a t-shirt. Um, so I'm gonna keep focused. I think it's like 3 or 4 o'clock, uh, going very slow. I didn't leave a gap for the elastic. I've made it this far without seam ripping. All right, a good little trick is attaching a safety pin to the end of your elastic as you thread it through. It's kind of easier to grab in. I finally did it. It is sewn. Now I just have to close up that last edge. Here we are so far, which I'm mostly happy with. One small complaint is that the pockets are kind of small, which I kind of was thinking might happen, but I want to try out a different pocket and use the pattern pocket. So I can still like throw my keys or something in them if I need to, but they're just a little shallow for my preference. And then obviously it's long, but it's going to be hemmed. The other thing is I wanted this a little bit longer than the other skirt I was referencing, but I almost want this layer like up an inch or two. But then once I hem it, and if I were to add the pleats, I'm nervous it's going to be too short. Not pleats, they're called something else. Maybe they are pleats. Pin tucks. So if I added the pin tucks, then it's like going to bring it up another couple inches, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is hem the bottom and maybe do the pin tucks because I think they're really cute and I've never done them before. And then kind of see how I feel about the length and if I want to shorten it again. Okay, I'm just ironing the hem, so I'm going to fold it in a little bit and then fold it again. Okay, so at a minimum, I need to just sew the hem. I do think I'm going to try to do a few additional details, but I'm going to work on the shirt, I think, next. Okay, this is the situation I'm in to try to sew right now. So I'm going to take a little break and try to figure out what pattern I'm going to use for the t-shirt. Okay, it's so much later. I got distracted. And by the time I realized that I don't have enough fabric for the pattern that I purchased and cut out, the fabric store was closed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can somehow manage to like fit this on the fabric I have, which I honestly don't think so. um, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna lay it out, and I'm gonna show you how I do that, I guess. Wish me luck. All right, please excuse the clutter. This always happens every time I craft, especially sewing. So when I got this, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I think I just got like maybe a yard and a quarter. Uh, and this pattern calls for like 2.1 meters, whatever that ends up being in yards. So already this is not looking great. I have like if I crop this, I guess a little bit more, then I can make it work. However, I also have to cut out 2 of these shoulders. So it would kind of be cropping it quite a bit. On top of that, actually, where did it go? I also have to have the neckline. The other thing I'm considering is sizing down just one more because it is an oversized pattern. Okay, now I have to figure out these. If you can't tell, I am getting pretty tired and kind of lazy. And I'm just kind of hoping for the best. Okay, so I have just experienced. Yes, hello. Okay, so I just had a bit of a dilemma cutting these pieces out for the pattern. So basically, I purchased a pattern which was like exactly what I was intending, like style wise, for the shirt. Kind of just like an oversized tee, but like a linen, cotton material, whatever. I like purchased the pattern, I cut it all out, and I was like, oh no, I don't know if I have enough fabric. I go back and I look at the pattern, and I do not have enough fabric. However, I played the best game of like fabric pattern Tetris, and I made it work. So I'm just gonna show you what I have left. Like I folded it so many different times to get this. I've got this piece, I've got these handful of scraps, and then I have this piece. That is all I have left, and I can't believe that I made it work out of like a yard and a quarter instead of like 2 yards or so, something like that. So I have all the pieces. I really hope I didn't forget anything because the fabric store was closed. I actually drove all the way there when I realized I didn't have enough fabric. Anyway, let the sewing continue. I've also ordered a pizza and I will be picking that up soon. So, the other thing I didn't consider is I don't really have a yarn or a thread that matches. Okay, although I wish I could just combine the two of these colors, I think that bottom one is going to be best. I am switching out the thread on my machine and I take the bobbin off. Literally, I don't know if you can see that. There's the tiniest bit of thread left. I don't know how far that would have gotten me. So that's a win, I guess. I've gotten my favorite sparkling water and my headphones. I've eaten 3 slices of pizza. I'm pretty tired, but I do feel a little rejuvenated from all the pizza. So we're locking in. Probably not going to talk much, but I am determined to finish this shirt tonight, even if it doesn't turn out good. I am going to finish it. So, okay, I have done the neck edge, which is kind of like folded under right now, and I did the shoulder seams. And next is going to be the sleeves, the sleeves, and sewing up the bottom. And I actually used like the actual like fabric edge here, and I'm kind of considering uh leaving it as is instead of like folding it under. At least I don't know until I decide how I feel about it. But it's like it's not a very noticeable edge, so I might keep that. But anyway, my phone did almost die, and it is still low battery, so I am probably just gonna sew off camera. But I will check back in. Another update. There are sleeves now. I don't have this part done, but there are sleeves. It is almost 9 o'clock, and I made a mistake. The more tired I get, the more mistakes I make. See? So I sewed this like the wrong side. I sewed the wrong side, and I've uh this is what happens when I'm tired. Okay, so this side right here is supposed to be here, and I already zigzag zig zigzag stitched the entire edge, and I have to seam pick it. I have to seam rip it off. All right, here is one last update before the shirt is finished. I just have to hem the bottom and the sleeves. I'm getting very tired. I don't know what words are. Anyway, I've been sewing for too many hours today. So I am pretty happy with it. Here is the neckline if you want to see. The stitching around the neckline is like okay. I might redo that at some point, but not today. So I think when I finish this up, I am going to go back to the skirt and make a few adjustments. And then maybe tomorrow when it's light out, I will do like a final review. But I think I'm just about done and I finished an outfit in a day. Hello! I did it! I made an outfit in a day! It's kind of crazy. I've been so looking forward to using this fabric, and I knew they'd go together somehow, but I hadn't totally decided how just yet. So here it is. The only thing I think I did off camera um, towards the end was I modified the skirt a little bit. I stayed up till like 12:30 doing a couple modifications. I ended up bringing this like it was down here, this first layer up a bit, and I added in pin tucks at the very bottom, very cute. Would recommend to add a little extra detail. I will say they're not the cleanest because I was doing it when I was very, very tired and it was my first time doing it. But anyway, I think it turned out pretty cute. I very much so love it. And yeah,